This is Luke. This is Luke 12 and 49. I am come to send fire on the earth, and what will I if it already be kindled? I like to start off by saying, Barakatah Yahawah, Barakatah Yahawashi, Call Elohim La Yahawah, Bahashem Yahawashi, Bahashem Rachakodash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who rule well. Blessings and salutations to the hopeful elect that scattered abroad, the Akim and the Akwat that's listening in. Yahweh Ratazah, Lord willing that the lesson is edifying. It's the brother Shawab Mamawan back at you with another lesson and going into that title, all right, America and Iran update. All right, and I'm going to read Luke 12 and 49. Again, it says, I am come to send fire on the earth, and what will I if it already be kindled? All right, which, you know, we know that Yahawashi is going to bring the true fire upon this place, right? But you also have things brewing up, things are heating up, all right? And basically all these things that are happening right now with this war, all right, is just, you know, fuel being added to the fire, okay? And it's about to get real ugly out here, all right? I have a couple of videos, different types of videos based on this war, all right? Different angles, different points of views, all right? And, you know, like I said, it's about to get real turned up out here, all right? Because this is a major thing that just happened, you know, with Israel and the U.S., you know, striking against Iran, all right, which Iran retaliated back. And then I believe it was last night or this morning, earlier this morning on their time, they ended up striking again. Okay, so it's about to be a back and forth thing for a little bit. All right, but what's going on? A lot of major things, key things are being blocked. All right, you have to understand here in America, it's about to be gas prices is about to go up, skyrocketing. All right, best believe that. All right, especially that you have, you know, Israel and U.S. trying to basically take over. You know, there's a lot of different things behind this war. All right, but one of these things are them trying to take over the oil. All right, because just like how they did Venezuela, all right, United States did Venezuela, right? They ended up confiscating a lot of their oil. But see, the oil that they have in Venezuela is a very heavy oil. And they're saying that when you go to Iran, Iran's oil, all right, is actually a lighter oil. So you basically need both of those oils to actually balance out the oil and make it an actual, you know, a steady flow for oil. Because when it's too heavy, the one that's in Venezuela is so heavy, they were saying that it's not good for the machines. You know, it clogs up a lot. All right, so they need the lighter oil to be able to combine the two together, right, to make it a steady flow. All right, which I'll get the video for that. All right, then they were speaking about how I forgot the name of it. It's a certain spot where Iraq has blocked off. I think it's called Horz, something like that. And basically it has blocked up a main point where most of the oil travels through. All right. So somewhere around the lines of 20% of the oil's blocked to go out through, you know, throughout the country. All right. And this is one of the reasons why you have China joining the war, Russia, all right, being a guard, all right, which that's Bible prophecy, but China joining the war because if that place gets blocked, then it collapses the society of Esau. I mean, Salaki, I said Esau there. What I meant to say is that Esau blocking, making them block off that part. All right, what's going to happen is that they're going to end up having their society collapsed out there in China. All right, it's not good for their society, man. It puts a hold on their society. It puts a hold on their everyday life. Okay, So is a lot of deep things behind this war, man. All right, not just what they're telling you on the news. Okay, that oh, you know, they've been terrorists and they just been bombing shit all their life. Nah, you can't just go by what they remember. Esau likes to narrate his own narrative when it comes to the news. You know, he'll try to put blames on people just so he could back his ass up or try to, you know, hide what he's really trying to do. But we're in a time that everything that's in the light, I mean, in the dark, is being exposed in the light. As the scriptures say, let me grab that real quick. This is Luke 2. Luke 2. Maybe 12. Salakia. Yeah, it's Luke 12 and 2. It says, "For there is nothing covered that shall not be revealed, neither hid that shall not be known." All right. Therefore, whatsoever ye have spoken in darkness shall be heard in the light, and that which ye have spoken in the ear and closet shall be proclaimed upon the housetops. All right. So everything, all right, is being exposed. All right. There's nothing that's secret no more. Okay. Eventually, the truth is going to come out. All right. Because the Lord has it set up where everything is being exposed. All right, so we have an understanding, knowledge is being increased. Okay, so with that being said, right, let's grab a couple of these videos. Just a lot, I sound like shit right now. I think I feel like I'm something coming down, which I kind of figured that shit because yesterday it warming up to 50 degrees out here after it's been fucking 20 degrees, 18 degrees, 15 degrees. I figured it was going to be something like that. That's called fool's weather. I mean, I was prepared for it. I was bundled up, but still, shit be in the air, man. Lord willing, it doesn't, you know, come upon me like that, but I feel like mopey, sniffles. Salaki, let me get to that, though. All right. So we got, let's grab, and on top of that, you also had the leader, okay, of Iran. He was also killed. All right. That was something I wanted to mention yesterday. As soon as I was done with my lesson, it came up on my feed. So I didn't get to mention that on my feed yesterday. I know they were trying to get at leaders, but they eventually got to them. All right. Which that's heavy also. All right. So all these things, you know, combined together is just going to stir up the fire, man. As the scriptures say, let me see. This is it's a certain scripture I want. Let me just grab these videos first, and then I'll get back to that preset. So I'm gonna have to look for it for a second. This is let's grab this first one. I got so many videos, I don't even know where to start from. All right, let's grab this one.
Iran fired barrages of ballistic missiles and drones, targeting Israel and U.S. military bases across the Gulf, including in Kuwait, Bahrain, Qatar, the United Arab Emirates, and Saudi Arabia. Iran's leadership says no red lines remain, and that every American and Israeli asset in the region is now a legitimate target. Explosions have also been reported from Tel Aviv. Air raid sirens blared across Israel, where authorities activated civil defense warnings and closed civilian airspace. Major Gulf states followed suit, grounding flights amid fears of further strikes. Earlier today, Israel and the United States launched coordinated military strikes against Iran, hitting dozens of targets across Tehran and several major Iranian cities. Explosions were widely reported over central Tehran, near government and military sites. In Tehran, Iranian officials declared their response a strong and crushing retaliation for the earlier U.S.-Israel operation, signaling a wider regional confrontation may be unfolding. This crisis has triggered global concern, with world leaders urging de-escalation. But for now, the Middle East remains on edge.
So you see, now they want a de-escalation. All right, everything is remaining on edge. Hey, you could thank Esau for that. You could thank America for that. I've been saying that in videos for quite some time, man. Esau is literally, Esau has the whole world on edge right now. All right, because the pride of his heart has deceived him, man. This devil is going to continually try to bully, all right, as he always has done. All right, and that ain't even so much the Americans, it's your cruel Lord. All right, it's Donald Trump that's doing all this, you know, shit behind closed doors, which ultimately is coming from the top banker families, the elites. Because remember, Donald Trump ain't nothing but an actual puppet. All right, the ones that are pulling the strings behind closed doors is your top banking families. All right, so this is what they want. All right, and your top banker families go back to being, you know, Amerikkites, man. Going back to being, you know, these small hatters. So they're the ones that control the world right now. They're the ones that want war. Okay? That's what this devil is known to do. Bring, you know, destroy peace. Okay? He's known to bring war, okay, upon, you know, the whole earth. All right? He has the what? The blessing of the sword and the fatness of the earth. So to have the blessing of the sword is to have all this military power, right? To have the fatness of the earth is basically to try to take over everything. Okay? And see, because he knows he has that blessing, the pride of his heart deceives him, man, because he thinks that, you know, he's just going to continue to bully everybody and take over everything without it having a consequence. You see, Shalom, YAHAWAH'S Brakatah. Yeah, nah, I do got to eat some garlic, but at the end of the day, man, I keep it on prayer. You know, the Lord will do what he got to do. All right. So, you know, this is, you know, something that, hey, man, the Lord is bringing upon this place, man. All right. Look at this damn video. This video just popped up on my feed out of nowhere. This is heavy. Hold on. Let me save this video. Could use that. Let me download it real quick. Use it for one of my video productions, and I'll show you what it's. Actually, I'll show you right now. Look at this video. This shit just came out of nowhere. And that's how it's going to be in these last days, man. The Lord about to turn up with that fire for real. Okay? And this is what's going to come to America. All right? Everything's going to be devoured by fire. But that was a video I just ran across. All right, so let me grab this. This is, let's grab this other video I got. Hold on, I'm just looking. I got different ones. That's why. Let's grab this.
Just for a moment. USA, Israel attacks.
Actually, you know what? Nah.
Man, check out this video of a UFO that's.
I missed not that one. Man, there's so much. All right, there you go.
The real war isn't against Iran, it's against China. And here's why. Many believe the United States is focused on Iran. Officially, the justification is Iran's nuclear program. Unofficially, the real issue is energy. China imports over 10 million barrels of oil per day. Nearly half comes from the Middle East, and about 20% of the world's oil passes through the Strait of Hormuz, a strategic choke point that Iran could block at any moment.
That's the one I was talking about. Hormuz. So Hormuz is basically the main transport area for all this oil on the eastern hemisphere. All right. So now you actually have that Iran blocked that. So what's going to happen is it's going to cause China, you know, to suffer basically. Okay. And this might very well be a tactic. This is one of those tactics that's being done behind closed doors. All right, to make other countries suffer. All right, this is how Esau moves. Okay, so yeah, he's always been at war with Iran. Right, he's always wanted to, you know, bring war upon them. All right, but there's a reason why, and this devil knows exactly. He knows exactly what he's doing. Okay, so by him bringing that war, he knew that it would actually stop that area of Hormuz from transporting, oil. All right, and watch, they're gonna explain it more here.
Feel the biggest. Over 10 million barrels of oil per day. Nearly half comes from the Middle East, and about 20% of the world's oil passes through the Strait of Hormuz, a strategic choke point that Iran could block at any moment. If that happens, the shock would be global, but China would feel the biggest impact. Oil prices would skyrocket, shipping costs would rise, and Chinese factories would suffer the consequences. For Washington, weakening Iran is a way to pressure China's main energy route without confronting the country directly. For Beijing, the dilemma is clear: intervene and risk escalation, or remain cautious and face a severe economic shock.
And see, that's the key right there. It's gonna be a severe economic shock. So by that happening, it's gonna affect America in a lot of ways. That right there basically is an orchestrated way of making your economy collapse, because everything comes from China, right? Even though we have oil, all right, they still need that oil from Iran, okay? On top of that, it's going to make prices of oil, prices of gas rise up out here, man. All right, it might have not happened yet, but it will. Watch, just settle down and buckle up. All right, it's about to really get heated up with them prices, okay? And, like I said, it's an orchestrated thing to make the economy crash here, okay? Because remember, this is where they're trying to bring down their own infrastructure, man, okay? Because they have a certain agenda that they want to lead to, right? Not only that, now that I think about it through the spirit, by them doing that, all right, it might be another tactic that America, Esau, using for when it comes to this RFID. All right, remember, this is going to be a global thing. This is going to be a mandated global thing. All right, it's going to be another way to make these people, these other countries, bow down to it also, because they ain't just trying to make you Israelites, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans bow down to it. All right, you got the whole world that's about to be caught up in this snare. The hour of temptation is for the whole world to be tried. All right, it's just that the only ones that matter is the Israelites. All right, we're not to take that. All right, we're not to fall into that, device, into Satan's devices. Okay, but this is going to be a way for them to actually make them bow down to their device, man. All right, because let's just say if America does get control, all right, over there in the Middle East, which I don't think they would, all right, but if they can get control over there, then they got the upper hand on everybody to control everybody the way they want, steer them in the direction that they want, okay? Because they're out there killing out assets, they're out there killing out major, how can I say it, arteries, all right? That I'm just saying arteries and using that because arteries, what in your body, arteries, pump blood to the main source, right, to your heart. So you cut off the arteries out there, forget about it. Everybody's done for. You see, so they're going to be trying to attack the major places that are able to control that side of the hemisphere, man. Okay, and that's what their goal is at the end of the day, to have total control, all right, of everything. And this is why eventually, the nations will be mad, as the scriptures say. Okay, which they're already mad. This is what's going to lead to the allies of America getting even more pissed off at America and wanted to come up against her. Okay, remember, Esau is going to be in the fullness of his sufficiency, man. So for him to be in the fullness of his sufficiency, he's going to be in a certain type of mindset of taking everything over, and that's it. It's going to be his way or the highway. You see? So let's finish that up.
It's about Tehran. It's about controlling the energy routes. The real war isn't against her, or remain caught without confronting the country directly. For Beijing, the consequences. For Washington, weakening Iran is a way to pressure China's main energy route without confronting the country directly. For Beijing, the dilemma is clear: intervene and risk escalation, or remain cautious and face a severe economic shock. This isn't just about Tehran. It's about controlling the energy routes that sustain China's growth. Imagine a war with no bullets, but capable of devastating China's economy. Perhaps the United States is using Iran as a strategic piece to weaken China without ever declaring an open war.
And it makes perfect sense because China's a strong defense right now. Russia's a strong defense right now. You got two powerhouses on the other side that's stronger than America, so they got to find a way to weaken them. All right, and this is what America's doing right now. All right, trying to weaken that side. All right, which eventually that shit ain't gonna work out. Even if they do, they're still going to be destroyed. America's going to be destroyed. All right, this is it says Americans, breaking news, Americans are leaving for the first time since the Great Depression. More people are leaving the U.S. than moving in. People moving to Portugal, Spain, Mexico, Germany, and even Albania in record numbers. Will this continue throughout 2026? Man, that shit ain't, it don't matter where you go. The judgment of the Lord is coming, which Lord willing, I'll make a video on that. All right, but let me keep looking for some more videos I got. Yeah, see, they killed the leader. Look, you got people celebrating this shit.
Bitch, we'll do this shit again. Iran, we ain't scared of you. No, where the fuck do y'all stay? We ain't never fuck Iran.
Yeah, see, see, this is that pride, man, in America that's going to lead to the destruction, man. As the scriptures say, pride come before destruction. All right, and the Holy Spirit before a fall. All right. Let's see.
Breaking news. Estimated 32 American soldiers got murdered in Bahrain, 41 of them murdered in Qatar, and 63 of them murdered in United Arab Emirates. And also 37 Israeli soldiers got murdered in Israel. This war is going to turn around, and there's going to be a serious casualties for American people. America get into street and demand resignation of the Donald Trump. Donald Trump is turning innocent children of yours life into hell.
Yeah, man.
Is about to be murdered.
And that's hey man, that's Bible prophecy. All right. You women, you men, 18 to 26 gonna be sent out there to the war, man. While these devils is sitting. I seen a video where they had a bunch of these Israelis, man. They were sitting in the back, cooped up in a little ass room, man, while you got Jake out there fighting the war for them, man. You know, while you doing the dirty work and they picking you goyim, because that's what they call us, right? They out there picking up the goyim, all right, and they out there fighting this war for these niggas, and none of these niggas is out on the front lines fighting. You see? Showing you that these devils, man, they could care less about you, man. And you fall into their trap by joining their, you know, their military, joining their navals, you know, their navies, all right, joining the war, period, because they promise you all this cash and they promise you all these things, which you're not going to come back. We're in a time where people going to be slaughtered left and right. And he just gave you numbers, man. People already dying in high numbers out there. All right, and they'll tell you that, hey, you know, you've done it for a great cause. You've done it for the safety of America. Okay, but none of these damn devils that started this shit is out there on the front lines, man. Only you, Jakes, is out there fighting for them, and so on some stupid ass shit, man. Okay, and as the scriptures tell you, I read that yesterday. I came out through the spirit. All right, a lot of these men gonna be taken in war, man. This is 2 Ezra 16 and 33, and it reads, "The virgins shall mourn, having no bridegrooms. The women shall mourn, having no husbands. Their daughters shall mourn, having no helpers. In the wars shall the bridegrooms be destroyed." You see, and their husbands shall perish of famine. So a lot of men, all right, is going to die out here on these in the war lines, man. Along with you women too that get chosen out there. All right, remember they choosing women to go out there too. All right, this is Isaiah 3:26, and it's 25, and it says, "Thy men shall fall by the sword, and thy mighty in the war." You see, so men gonna fall by the sword, you know, by Esau's military, Esau's martial law troops out here. All right, but then also there's gonna be men that get rounded up that don't die by the sword here in America, right? And they're going to be rounded up and they're going to be taken out there to be in the front lines of war, all right? Especially you mighty men, you men that are in shape, you know, that you could go out there and be useful for them. You see, they're just going to snatch you up, put you in a camp, all right? They're going to either tell you go join the war, all right? And when you go to join the war, best believe you're already taking the microchip. That's a no-brainer. Whoever joins military, most of them, I'm talking about the ones today. There's people that have, you know, gotten away with not being able to get, the RFID in their body. All right, but I'm talking about now. If you join the military now, because everything is so digitalized, it's a guarantee they're gonna give you a RFID CHIP. All right, why? Because they're gonna tell you they need to pinpoint your location for the data centers, you know, to be able to know where you're at all times, all right? All that type of mess. So if they could get you to join, oh, well, that's automatic right there. We ain't even got to, force that shit upon them, all right? But like I said, you know, they're going to take you to FEMA camps and they're going to tell you, you either go and join the war or you sit here and you rot and you die and be tortured, man. You see? These are the predicaments that they're going to put you in, okay? That's right. This is 2nd Ezra's 16:21. It says, "Behold, victuals shall be so good cheap upon earth that they shall think themselves to be in good case, and even shall evils grow upon the earth." All right. So evils is going to grow upon the earth. All right. And what? And great confusion. Okay. That's what's happening right now. Great confusion. Okay. Victuals is going to become cheap. You know, victuals going to food, all right, because ain't gonna be nobody buying nothing no more. So things are gonna be gonna get cheap, but the dollar's gonna be collapsed. So who the hell gonna have money to buy anything anyway? All right, and victuals can also go into necessities. When you look that word up, it goes into necessities, your everyday necessities. So, you know, while these things get cheap, all right, evils are multiplying, man. Confusion is going on more and more. Okay. But like I said, this war going to bring out a lot of hyperinflation, man. It's going to bring a lot of high prices in this gas. All right. Let's go back and grab some more, right? This is let me grab this one.
You think that massive armada heading toward Iran is about human rights or stopping a nuclear program? Stop. You're looking at the wrong map. To understand the Middle East, you have to look at Venezuela. The U.S. just secured the biggest win in energy history, 303 billion barrels of reserves. But there's a catch nobody talks about. Venezuelan oil is extra heavy. It's basically sludge. It's so thick, you can't even push it through a pipeline without thinning it out first. And here's the kicker. U.S. refineries were built for this heavy oil, but right now we're drowning in light shale oil that we can't use efficiently. We need that Venezuelan crude. But to move that sludge, you need a blending agent. You need light crude. And guess who has the exact chemical composition required to unlock Venezuela? Iran. For years, Iran has been the secret key, shipping light oil to Venezuela to keep their industry alive. The strategy isn't freedom, it's chemistry. Trump secured the heavy crude. Now the armada is there to secure the light crude. It's not a war for morality, it's about completing the energy equation. So tell me, is this a masterclass in business strategy or just dangerous greed? Let me know whose side you're on in the comments.
And it makes perfect sense because Trump is a businessman, man. Business, he knows business aspects, man. So he will make a move like that, man. Okay, because he just said, there's a science behind that. You can't just have this crude, heavy oil. It has to be watered down somehow. okay, and how they, not watered down, but it has to be lightened. So how they're going to be able to do that? By taking the light oil and mixing it together. You see? So again, it goes deeper than what they're just telling you, man. All right. And we know that Esau is known for taking resources. That's one of the main things that he does, man. Having the blessing of the fatness of the earth is to take the resources of everybody else. They take the resources and then they make that money off of them. You see? What do they do when they go to our countries, right? When they go to the Northern Kingdom countries down in South America, you know, they take all their natural resources, keep the real resources, but then they come and feed us some bullshit. Okay? That's why they eat good. That's why they stay, you know, with the best foods and things like that, man, because they go and take everybody else's resources and then use a portion of it to make money. All right. But then also to make their, you know, their GMOs, you know, make, they mix in their, they go to these other countries and take the natural things that heal us. All right. And then they come back to the Americas and they make these things what? They make these things medications, you know, through what? Through pharmakia, which is witchcraft and sorcery, right? The mixing of potions. That's how you get your pharmaceutical drugs. Okay. That's why when you get a pharmaceutical drug, that shit is like 85% damn chemicals. All right. And then there's only like 15%, if lower, if not lower, you know, 15% of the actual natural remedy that you need. You see? But hey, that's how America works. Okay. It says it right here. It says Iran has just closed the Strait of Hormuz, right? Blocking 20% of the world's oil supply. And that's what I was saying earlier. All right. So they were trying to, they didn't want that to be blocked. All right. But now it's blocked. So now that's going to cause a lot of turmoil. That's going to cause a lot of controversy amongst these nations, man. Okay. And this is what's going to intensify the war. All right. This is why what's going on right now in Iran is major, because it's going to play out your future. All right. Based on the moves that are being made, it's going to play out the future of how things are going to end. Okay. And we just seen it in the other video, how basically Esau trying to make these other economies crash. And if China crashes, like I said, America's done for. America's done for, because everything that we get is from China. Okay. Even though there's tariffs on all these things right now, it's still a major source of what we receive here in America. Okay. Even down from our clothes to our food to your devices. Okay. Your everyday lifestyle, man, comes from all these other countries worldwide. It's now that you have America trying to, you know, give you their product, and their product is completely off. Their food here is fake food. You know, we're not eating. If you eating shit made in America, that shit is not real food, man. It's processed. All right. They're talking about how they've been putting GMO, DNA in it, you know, dead bodies in it. Okay. Everything's being 3D printed. All right. So you're not eating real food no more. And then I'm not saying that China and all these other countries weren't giving, they were also giving you a bunch of trash too. Okay. Because everything out there comes from Monsanto. You have to understand that big corporation rules pretty much the world with the seeds. All right. That's where you get your GMOs from, man, from the Monsanto seeds. And then what you had is what's his name? Bill Gates has been taking over all the farming systems here in America. All right. For a reason. So he could give you his product, man. Okay. His genetically modified bioengineered foods, man. All right. And if they do have farms in the system still running, best believe that the government is forcing them to use Monsanto seeds. You see? So the Monsanto seeds, all right, are all genetically modified, man. That shit is not real. The realest food is when you go to these countries like down in South America, you know, you go to the islands, okay? Dominican Republic, you know, Puerto Rico, all them islands around there, that's where the real food is at. Okay, I remember when I went last time to Puerto Rico, man, I was eating like a hog out there. You know, I was eating crazy food out there, and I was having no effect to it. I wasn't full because it was real food. You see, I was eating good out there. But as soon as you come back to the States, you start eating the shit that's here, man. It start hurting your stomach. You get sick off of eating these things. Okay. But stomach bloating up and all that because it's not real. All right. It's given to you through, you know, through the American way. All right. Through these American process centers and corporations, man. Right. So again, Iran has just closed off the Strait of Hormuz, okay, which is going to cause 20% of the world's oil supply to be blocked. All right. So let me grab another one. This is it says the general. This is the General MC News. It says breaking. Lindsey Graham says that if any Americans die in this war, they will die a noble death and have sacrificed their lives to make Israel and United States safer. You see, here goes that peace and safety shit. All right, as the scriptures tell you, man, when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction come upon them, man. All right. So forget about them trying to save and make this place safer, man. There's a war going on outside. No man is safe from, man. Ain't nothing safe here in America. Okay, from you walking on the streets to going to your car, from you going to your car to a store, you know, from you going from the store back home. There's nothing safe out here, man. Okay, at any given time, ICE can knock down your door and come for you. All right, you being brown or black. All right, according to them. All right, you end up in a whole nother country. The military come kick your door down and say, let's go. You going to war. So there ain't nothing safe out here. Okay. This is Esau using, you know, as the scriptures say, his tongue frameth deceit. Okay. He know how to speak to you and make you think that he doing everything good for a good cause, but there's a true agenda behind it. Let's grab that real quick. This is I'll grab this one first, Ecclesiasticus 12:16, and it reads, an enemy speaketh sweetly with his lips. All right. And verse 10 tells you never trust thine enemy, for like iron rusted, so is his wickedness. So you can't trust anything that comes out this devil's mouth, man. All right. He's the father of lies, as the scriptures tell you in John 8:44. All right. Isaiah, what is that? Isaiah 58. All right. They come out speaking lies as soon as they be born, you know. So he's always lying about something and has a certain agenda behind it. It says, an enemy speaketh sweetly with his lips, but in his heart he imagineth how to throw thee into a pit. He will weep with his eyes, but if he find opportunity, he will not be satisfied with blood. Okay. If adversity come upon thee, thou shalt find them there first. And though he pretend to help thee, yet shall he undermine thee. Okay. So he gonna act like he helping you. He gonna act like it's being done for a good cause, but none of this is actually for a good cause. This is for his own regime that he's trying to set up, man, for his own little empire. Okay. For the sakes of their new world order is what all this is being done for. Okay. And he wants the bloodshed. He wants to see blood. Okay, as we just read, he's not satisfied with blood. All right, so he wants to see that and more. And as long as he has blood shed all over the world, well, then he's going to be able to take over more and more, all right, with his agenda. All right, so let me grab this other one I wanted. His tongue frameth deceit. That's a lot here. This is Psalms 50:19. It says, Let me go. Yeah, let's take it from 50 and 19. Psalms 50 and 19 says, "Thou givest thy mouth to evil, and thy tongue frameth deceit." You see? So he's going to speak mischief, man. He's going to speak things that, you know, sound good, all right? But at the end of the day, you know, though he come humbling, crouching himself and humbling himself, right? As the scriptures tell you in that same place I was just at, Ecclesiastes 12 and 10, it's 11, it says, "Though he humble himself and go crouching, yet take heed and beware of him. Take good heed and beware of him, that thou shalt be unto him as thou hast wiped a looking glass, and thou shalt know that his rust has not been altogether wiped away." You see? And that's why when you don't listen, all right, and you end up falling into this devil's traps, we're not going to feel bad, because the scriptures say, "Who shall pity a charmer that has been bitten by a snake?" All right, we told you this devil was a snake, man. We told you that he has a certain agenda he's trying to push, so he can't be trusted. Okay, so let's go back to those videos. All right, let me see the other one I just seen.
In history, the world's superpower, America, is trapped in a debt cycle they cannot escape. And while the world is distracted by news, elections, and market pumps.
No, that's not the one I want. Oh, now you got act of terrorism happening right now in Austin, Texas. It says the FBI now believes the mass shooting at the bar in Austin, Texas, all right, which I got to look into that. I don't know if that happened last night or a couple days ago, that killed 3 and injured 14, was an act of terrorism. Now they're going to start coming with the false flags, man. All right. And that's going to lead to war here on American soil, man. All right, which they've been telling you that for quite some time also, that there's going to be terrorism attacks done here in America, okay? And it's going to come by the way of what you see going on with Iran right now, all right? When you go into the second Ezra, the 15th chapter, it talks about how there's going to be an inside job, inside attack done here in America, all right? Let me grab that. This is second Ezra's. Second Ezra's 15, and let's take it from (33). Matter of fact, let's just take it from 30, since I've been bringing this out a lot, all right? Also the Carmenians, which is these Persians, you know, modern day Iranians, raging in wrath. See, now they're going to rage more in wrath. You done took out their leader, one of their leaders, all right, one of their generals, okay? So that's already got them raging more in war, okay? Now they're going to hear, now they're going to feel the fire from these other nations, as China, okay? Them blocking the Hormuz, all right? Now that's going to make them, you know, hear a lot of backfire from all these other nations that get supported from their oil, man. All right. So that's going to have them pissed off more and more. You see, it says, "Raging in wrath shall go forth as the wild boars of the wood, and with great power shall they come and join battle with them, and shall waste a portion of the land of the Assyrians." All right. So eventually, you know, America, a portion of the land of America is going to be smacked, okay, by these devils. Why? Because they're raging in wrath already. Iran's already in wrath, pissed off, ready to go. They've been chanting death to America for a long ass time now, man. All right. There was a video that got leaked out about 3 years ago. It was a woman that's from out there, and it was a heavy video that she was saying, because what she was saying was on point, okay? And she was exposing that basically all these years, America has always blamed it on the Middle East, saying that they, you know, that they're cruel people, this and that. But all these years, they've been doing nothing but actually invading their countries and taking people out to try to gain you know, their economy, man. You see? And she was exposing that, telling them how the true terrorist is basically the Americans, and it's the truth. Okay? Because they're proving it right now and showing it right now through the spirit and power of YAHAWAH'S by going out to all these other nations and trying to take over their lands, man. Take over the whole Western Hemisphere. Then want to take over the Eastern, you see? Cut off their resources out there so all these other nations could collapse. Come on, man. It says, and then shall the dragons, all right, have the upper hand, remembering their nature, all right, all these Ishmaelite countries, man. All right. It says, and they shall turn themselves, conspiring together in great power to persecute it. They're going to join together, man. It says, then these shall be troubled blood and keep silence through their power, and shall flee. And from the land of the Assyrians, America, shall the enemy besiege them and consume some of them. And in their host shall be fear and dread and strife among their kings. You see? So there's going to be something that happens here on American soil, you know, through an inside job. All right. That's going to even stir up things even more. Okay. And it makes plenty of sense of why you got all these damn foreigners. All right. That are from Iran, all of that. They out here as sleeper cells. You know, they done came here, you know, through the Biden Act. They own your damn every 7-Eleven on the corner. Own every single damn gas station that you see. The only ones they don't own is Wawa. Wawa gas. You see? Quick check gas. Those are the only ones they don't own. But if you look, not everybody has a quick check or a Wawa gas. Okay? These turban ass niggas are the ones that have all the gas stations worldwide in America, man. Okay? And there's all types of them everywhere. Well, I've always keep telling you, within a mile radius, you know? It don't matter what state you go to. All right, you're going to always see a bunch of them out there. And they're scattered throughout here. So the best believe something's going to happen amongst them. Shalom, Sister Yahawah Brakatah. On to you. All right, so let me see what else I have on this.
9 million people have such a grip on the world's biggest superpower. Why does the U.S. send $3.8 billion?
No, that's not one. I think I kind of went through them all. Let me see. Let me just make sure. Yeah, I think those are the ones that I wanted. I have other ones, but those are for different angle of, you know, to speak on. Let me see this one.
It needs to pay attention to where they're at right now, right here today, at this exact moment in time. Everything in our life has officially changed forever. President Trump, on behalf of Netanyahu and the psychopaths around him, got us into World War III. We are now at war with Iran. President Trump just said this. Oh, and P.S. We're going live on YouTube right now to cover this story. Drop some comments below. I'll see you guys over there.
A short time ago.
Oh yeah, nah, Salaka. Yeah, that's one I played yesterday, as a matter of fact. All right, but let me see about this one.
It's a script.
Nah, that's not one. All right, but you also got, hey, while all this is happening, you have Pakistan declares open war with Afghanistan. All right, you have you still have the Russian and Ukraine war. Russia out there dropping incendiary missiles on them. All right, dropping phosphorus missiles, burning up cities out there. Basically, they're not even dropping heat like that. They just dropping bombs. They dropping missiles that come down with flares. All right, and what they do is they pretty much land and then they just burn things up around it. All right, they're not even throwing the missiles that come with the booms. All right, why? Because they saving those for America at the end of the day. You know. Yeah, but those are the ones that I wanted to get the main points. all right, to show you what's behind really this war. It ain't just, you know, about terrorism. It ain't about these people having nuclear power and they trying to take away their nuclear power, man. They're trying to invade their oil, okay? America needs their light oil to mix in with the oil they had from Venezuela, which is a heavy oil, okay? America's trying to cause them to close off their ports, which that's already happened, the Hormuz, all right, to be able to block off 20% of the oils that come through on that side, man. So what's going to happen is it's going to cause a lot of collapse in these people's countries, man. All right. And that's why the scriptures say the nations were mad. Let's grab that. All right. This is Revelations 11 and 18. And says, oh, no, Salakia, not that one. Yeah, that's the one I want, Salakia. It says, Revelations 11 and 18, it says, and the nations were angry, and their wrath is come, and the time of the dead, that they should be judged, and that thou should give reward unto thy servants, the prophets, and to the saints, and them that fear thy name, small and great, and should destroy them which destroy the earth. You see, that's why Esau gonna be taken out the way, man. That's why America gonna be just, it's gonna be literally disintegrated out here, man, because they have to be destroyed. They the ones, the leaders that rule here are the ones that have been destroying everything around the earth. All right. And that's why, again, the nations are mad. Okay. This is Jeremiah 51 and 7. And it says, Babylon, okay, America has been a golden cup in the Lord's hand, Yahweh, and the Lord Yahweh's hand, and made all the earth drunk. All right. How they made them drunk, you know, by making them follow after their ways, man. You know, a brother sent the video to me the other day. What was it? Let me see. I got it right here. It's in our messages. What was it? It was I forgot what country it was. It might have been Iraq or one of them Iranian countries. Yeah, it might have been Iran. And basically they had a bunch of women. It was all men in this one spot, but the women that were in there were all men. It was all men that were dressed up as women. Okay, had surgeries done and everything, but they were all men. Basically everybody that was inside the thing was a complete man, whether you saw woman or man in there. All right, and that's what I mean, that they have drunken the wine, the philosophies of America. You know, they have spread their wickedness around the earth, and the rest of these other countries have followed after them, man. You see, that's why when these other countries, they come here to America, a lot of these people can't go back to their countries. Why? Because they drank the wine and the wrath. They drank the fornication of America. You know, they stay in America too long. Next thing you know, they coming out, you know, transformers, you know, they come back and they all straight part of fagonometry now, you know, and then they take that back to their country and spread that shit, that wickedness. You see, that's why a lot of those people disown their family members, man, when they come to America, because when you come out of America, you don't come back the same, man. You come back westernized. You see, when these people already have certain type of cultures out in those countries. Okay, so let's go back, right? It says Babylon has been a golden cup in the Lord Yahweh's hand, and made all the earth drunken. The nations have drunken of her wine, therefore the nations are mad. Okay, so you have all these other, you know, nations pissed off at America, man. Pissed off they even knew America. Pissed off that they even have dealt with America in the past. Okay, because in the beginning, Esau came, right? America came as that you know, with that humbleness, crouching down, speaking sweetly with his lips, but at the end, he had a certain agenda amongst all these other nations. See, he don't just have a certain agenda with you Jakes, man. All right. He also has an agenda against these other nations. It's just that we're the main the main idea of the story, you see? Because as long as we're the population of the world, okay, we're the ones that is innumerable. We are the sands of the sea, as the scriptures say. So we're everywhere, scattered throughout the four corners of the earth. So it's always going to lead back to us. Excuse me. But America, Esau, the top banking families that rule, all right, they destroy also these other countries, man. Okay, because that's them having the fatness of the earth and the blessing of the sword. All right. So it says Babylon has been a golden cup in the Lord's hand that made all the earth drunk, and the nations have drunken of her wine. Therefore, the nations are mad. Okay, so they pissed off. And as a matter of fact, now that I went to this brother's, let me see how long this video is. I want to play this video. Let me see how much time I got. I want to play this video real quick. Maybe I should save it for another one. It was good. It was a good video showing the real reason why Trump and Israel really bombed Iran. Let me see if this is the one. It was on YouTube.
War on Iran has officially begun. US President Donald Trump just bombed Iran on behalf of Israel. Make America great again.
No, I'm gonna save this one. And that's the spirit. That call Elohim La Yahweh Shem Yahushua. The video is 14 minutes and 40 seconds long. All right, 144. All right. So, because I want to play that whole entire video. All right. I don't want to play a portion of it. All right. But I gave enough information of what's really going on behind closed doors behind this war. You know, so I'm gonna leave it there through the spirit. You know, Lord willing that you will edify. So with that being said, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Call Elohim La Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Bachakodash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who well. Blessings and salutations to the hopeful elect that scattered abroad. The Akim and the Aquat that was listening in. Yahweh Ratazah, Lord willing that the lesson was edifying. To the next one, Shalom. Keep fighting the good fight of faith and doing as good soldiers of Yahweh Shai. Shalom. Shalom, Sister Yahweh Bashem Yahushua Barakatah. This thing I want to end.